Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. Had a vet ask me to do a do's and don'ts of Memorial Day. Like, no, I am not the right guy to do this. And he said, no, you're the perfect guy to do this. Veteran channels tend to only reach veterans. Veterans already know this. Politicians have no interest in talking about it, therefore people don't know. I'm not sure. Rule 303, you've got the means. So here we are. Okay, so the first thing I want to address, and this will be certainly shown in the comments section, is that veterans are not a singularity. They don't all think the same way, contrary to the way they're portrayed. In fact, I am certain that there is one bullet point here that will demonstrate that very clearly. Okay. Armed Forces Day, Veterans Day, and Memorial Day. Three very different things. Armed Forces Day, active duty. Veterans Day, anybody who served. Memorial Day, people who died. That's what the days are for. All of a sudden, saying Happy Memorial Day seems really weird, right? Okay, so keep that in mind. You're going to have your barbecue or whatever. You're going to invite your vet buddies over. Happy Memorial Day may not be the appropriate thing to say. It's a day to remember the fallen. It's a day to remember those lost. It's not a happy day. It is not a happy day. More importantly, for today's vets, if you're younger and you're inviting people over who were in Iraq or Afghanistan, these are still wounds. They're not scars yet. So every day to them is Memorial Day. They're remembering it every day. So just bear that in mind. When you have these vets over there, there are two questions you don't ask. Just don't. The first is, did you see combat? Did you see any action? Something along these lines. When you ask this question, you're going to see the guy. It isn't because that particular question necessarily caused him any distress or her any distress. It's because they know what's coming next. Did you kill anyone? Don't ask that. Just don't. There's a limited number of situations. You've got the person who went over and saw nothing. How could that cause them any distress? They may feel guilty. I know that sounds weird. They may feel like they didn't do their part. Not all, but some are going to have that feeling. Then you have the guy or woman who went over, saw something, and didn't kill anyone. Maybe they're remembering somebody on Memorial Day. Maybe they feel like they let that person down. They probably don't want to talk about it either. Then you got the guy who killed someone and feels bad. Obviously doesn't want to talk about it. Then you've got the person who killed someone and is completely apathetic to it. Just doesn't care. And either they're part of that 4% that we've talked about in other videos, or they haven't processed it yet. May not want to bring it up. And then the one person you can run into that I can assure you will make you stop asking this question forever is the person who killed someone and liked it. Because they exist, and they're never who you think they are. This guy's probably a school teacher now. But he's got a few beers in him. Did you kill anyone? Next thing you know, you're looking at a kill book and you will never look at him the same way again. Just don't ask this question. Ever. Okay. The Gold Star families. Now, these flags, they come out, these lapel pins, they show up, particularly on Memorial Day. What this means, and the flag, it's a white flag with a red border, and then in the middle of it, there's a gold star with a blue border. This means they lost somebody in their immediate family. That's what it means. And sometimes it's a lapel pin. Now, you probably want to say something. I'm sorry for your loss. Leave it at that. Just leave it at that. In older times, it might have been appropriate and well received to say, he died for a good cause, or she died for a good cause. Not all Gold Star families today are going to respond well to that. They don't all believe that because of the wars in which they were lost. That may provoke a conversation you might not want to have at a barbecue. So, I'm sorry for your loss. The next thing, and this is kind of odd. It may seem odd, it's really not. Just have the barbecue. Have the event. Don't try to relate. And there's one of the people I talked to, he said it the perfect way. I would rather they buy their mattress, have their barbecue, and have a good time than try to relate, because they can't. In at least one of these two ways, I can have a good time too. So just remember the fallen. Leave those that are here kind of out of it. Now, the next one, they wanted addressed, and man. Okay, they're certain that people will kneel for the fallen during the national anthem. According to them, now this was a certain subset of vets. It's the perfect day to do it. I'm certain right now somebody is typing a comment, and that's fine. Y'all can hash this out in the comments section. I'm not even getting involved in this conversation. Their logic is that when people are kneeling during the national anthem today, they are kneeling for those killed unjustly by law enforcement. To them, it is remembering the fallen, and that is more in line with the holiday. It is more in line with the day than a barbecue. At least it's for the same purpose, I guess. Okay, so what is the best thing you can do for Memorial Day? Make sure that those who are active duty today get to celebrate Veterans Day and not get remembered on Memorial Day. Wars require your silent consent. If it is an unjust or unnecessary war, don't give it. You've got a voice, use it. That is the most important thing that you can do, is to make this holiday null. If we stop losing people, we don't need to remember them. Okay, so now you know, knowing is half the battle, the other half is violence. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good night.